Hello students, today we will discuss about character of Millamant. Okay, Millamant, the heroine of The Way of the World, is counted among the immortal characters of Congreve. And according to Hazlitt, Millamant is the ideal heroine of the comedy of high life. She dominates the play by her brilliant wit and department. Okay. First, heroine's real lady. Millamant, the heroine of The Way of the World. She remains most powerful and dominating in the action of this play. In dress, in speech, in action, she is very embodiment of elegance. Love of pleasure is in her veins. She never opens her mouth but to thrill the audience with some brilliant remark or some careless gesture, both cast in the mold of beauty. She is so self-assured that she knows her world must come to her feet. She acknowledges no master, admits no law. Her own will and caprice are the only law she knows and that expresses his sentiments. If there's delight in love, it is when I see that heart that others bleed for me. She uses her love letters to pin up her hair. She delights in giving pains to her lovers. She gives expressions to her real feelings. Well, if Mirabel should not make a good husband, I am a lost thing, for I find I love him violently. In fact, she has been made so charming and attractive. Okay, next, charming and attractive. In this last and most carefully finished play, nothing can be more charming and enchanting than Millamant and her morning thoughts. She is always provoking in her approaches to her lover, and when Mirabel proposes to rise earlier, she calls him her idle creature. She is the perfect model of the accomplished fine lady. She is the ideal heroine of the comedy of high life. Who arrived at the height of indifference to everything from the height of satisfaction. There is elegance in her dress and manners. Wit is her habitual language. She has nothing to hope or to fear from her own caprice, being the only lord to herself and rule to those about her. Her words seem composed of amorous sighs. She refines on her pleasures too sadly and enlightens the whole atmosphere. Why her presence, her charms are so irresistible that her conquests are neither surprised nor concerned. But at last she is tamed from her pride of love and beauty into a wife. She is generous and good natured with all her temptations. Her behavior to Mirabel reconciles us to her treatment of Whitwood and Pentland and of her country admirers are Whitwood. Next, beauty. Congreve has included all the qualities of fashionable lady in her character, but he has done no more, and if he had, he would certainly have done wrong. He has given us the finest idea of an artificial character of this kind, but it is still the reflection of an artificiality. The mere fine lady of comedy compared with the heroine of romance is too much like a doll stripped of its finery. In thinking of Millamant, we think almost as much of her dress as of her person. Next, aristocracy and fashion. In fact, Millamant, in the way of the world, is his most perfect creation. She first enters escorted by Whitwood and at once reveals her contempt for him. She is hard on Pentland's ignored as one Whitwood's affections. She confesses an illiterate man's my aversion. I wonder at the impudence of an illiterate man to offer to make love. Her treatment of Sir Whitful from the country is almost flawless. Okay. He has been proposed as a match for the beautiful Millamant. Her object now is to discourse him, and she frankly tells him that she despises the country and everything pertaining to it. What with Mirabelle, she's on exactly the right terms for the finest kind of comic writing. They are in love with each other, but when we first see them, they are in the midst of the pretty quarrel over the company that she stresses on keeping. They are in the midst of pretty quarrel of the company that she stresses on keeping. Mirabelle is enraged at her folly and tells her plainly what she is conscious that is completely under her power, so he succeeds in turning the tables on him. Next, frankness. Last. Millamant has to fight many a battle from before she succeeds in love and marriage with Mirabelle, and that too on her own terms. We do not see her violent or enraged anywhere, but she deftly deals with every situation. In her contest with Mrs. Marwood, she hides her rage under the veil of malicious merriment. She tells Mrs. Marwood that she hates Mirabelle, but she cannot help herself loving him. Yet the creature loves me and laughs, enjoy the situation. She settles terms with Mirabelle, and he, in turn, offers conditions of matrimony. She undoubtedly yields, but what with the remark, "Why does the man not top me? Would you have me give myself to you over again?" And Mirabelle repeats over and over again. From the beginning of the play, we know that she and Mirabelle really love each other. She blushes in the cabinet, and Mirabelle thinks that she has done so for him, but Mirabelle is too serious a lover to take fun of whatever she sees, although at times we find Millamant bored by the behavior of Mirabelle, but she sees love behind all his activities. She possesses a light air of gaiety around her presence, the freshness of spring and clear charm. She is everywhere lovable. She is the incarnation of happiness, or at least of the desire for it. Milaman's behavior in the bargaining scene, her talks and expressions have led to remark that she is a coquette. She shows a great understanding and maturity in her behavior. Her appeal has all the earnestness or real life. In fact, Millamant is a woman. She has the inestimable power of giving, but she is rightly jealous of herself. She is alive and breathing, hiding a real personality behind the only two necessary artifice of her sex. One assured of Mirabelle's love. She diverts herself of armor and shows a perfect. If Mirabelle should not make a good husband, I am a lost thing. There is no character in English drama to be compared with Millamant, and there is no character in English drama to be compared with Millamant. And when the play is over, it is of her that the audience and carries the lively impressions about her. Nicole says of her wit, of her charm, and of her fascination. The last courtesy of aristocratic fashion before the new world is ushered in.